For our first panel, what we're going to do is we're going to take a tour around the world and hear perspectives from patients like you and their efforts to try to bring their lived experiences and their insights into advocacy and in terms of taking their experiences and impacting policy and considerations in their own countries. And so let's go ahead and take a quick run around the world.
In 1996, when my son was 15-year-old, he was detected with kidney failure, which was a congenital defect. So we had to start planning our lives in a different way, in the sense that it was something new to us. So we had to understand, accept, and move on. In the meantime, I got myself tested so that I could give him my kidney. And it happened that after my test, the HLA match was done, and I was approved by the doctor as a donor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I needed to get the surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. So it took me 2 years to get completely recovered, and then I could donate my kidney. The incidents that went through this, the process of knowing that why your son was had this congenital defect, and how as a mother you start blaming yourself. You think that you have not been you've ignored your child, or you've not done something right. So I started investigating, and I found out that he was having this bedwetting, for which we had gone to a urologist, and the urologist had told us that not to worry, as he grows up, it will get rectified on its own. So when the kidney failure happened, and when we had the transplant, and I went back to see what was the reason for his kidney failure, we knew that it was just that bedwetting. And if we had taken immediate action, the action that I felt I could have taken was taken a second opinion and not relied on one doctor. So that is the big mistake that I did. And then I wrote a book about reflux nephropathy, the vesicular reflux that he has. And that book was published. And then I said, oh, this is not enough. I'm still not happy. So I opened a group on the Facebook, the Kidney Warriors. And we had this was only for Indians, because I felt Indians are not so smart as the Westerners are, and we need to cope with the disease because we don't have insurance. So the group was restricted to Indians, and we have many languages. You see, every state has a different language, different dialect. So it was enough to manage these people who were already struggling with the disease and with so many languages. So I decided to keep this a closed group for India. And we realized over time that the patients suffered a lot, and they struggled to find the finances because we don't have insurance. They struggled to get the right treatments because they were confused. And then I realized that we need to create a patient advocacy for India. So I formed a group of founder members who came forward, and we founded this organization December 2017. In the past 2 years, the pandemic has given us a lot of opportunity to really focus on the patient advocacy. So we've had lots of webinars with the doctors. So it was like every week we had one session or two sessions, and we could place our grievances before them. But I also used to write to the Prime Minister very often and share with him the agony that we faced. And surprisingly, in 2019, I was inducted into the Dialysis Commission, National Dialysis Commission for India, so that I was part of this program where they could have some decisions on dialysis. So all the problems that we faced went in as a memorandum to the Prime Minister, and I had requested that more people need better quality dialysis. So over the past 2 years, we have seen a lot of changes in the dialysis, and also government officials, not really the Prime Minister's cabinet people, but we had officials from the ministry who were indirectly invited to sessions on uh, patient advocacy for salt for kids. Basically, we thought we should focus on the the salt, the products, the processed foods, and salt content in them, because that could be a big driver for the kidney disease, as blood pressure is found in young kids as well. So we looked at sugar, sodium, and fats, which are all in high quantities in all processed foods. So we've done patient advocacy to that extent, and I'm continuously writing to the Prime Minister and seeking a meeting with him so that we can place before him all the problems that we have. Very good question here, actually, because this is something that really bothers us day in and day out. Uh, in the terms of innovation, our dialysis centers now, the quality of dialysis, number of centers have increased. The government has given free dialysis to the rural parts of the country, and urban dialysis centers are also improving their quality of dialysis. The cost of the dialyzer, because that is an imported component, it's not manufactured in India. So there is a cost which is, it's humongous, and that is a very important cost, because now we are having a single use of dialyzers, so the usage is more. So the cost of dialysis can come down remarkably if we can get the dialyzer at a lower cost. In terms of innovation, we also feel the need for um, this anti-rejection medications. I mean, actually, not the medications as much as the treatment. We have a treatment for the anti-rejection, and we have something like the rejection really happens, which is a chronic mediated antibody rejection. So when this the chronic mediated antibody rejection happens, many patients are really in a very tough situation. If we could find some remedy to to overcome this in all cases, that is, now there is a particular treatment that we are giving, the rituximab, and then the anti-rejection, the solumetrol and stuff like that. But if we had one medication that could even reverse this rejection completely, I don't know whether there is anything going on, any clinical studies going on anywhere, but if something can come in that area, it will be very beneficial. Patients in India are looking forward to the artificial kidney, the one made by Dr. Suvoy Roy, UCSF. If that becomes a reality, it will be great news, and it will also be good if we can get it at a lower rate, because once this comes out, we don't know whether the cost will be too high for our Indian patients. Uh, so these are the concerns that we have. The other innovation that we are now seeing is also happening in the chronic kidney disease early stages. During the management stages, we are seeing a lot of trials happening, and many medications are coming out to slow the progression of the disease. So that is something very promising for us. I think this question is it's a very important question, very pertinent too, and global consortium will definitely help all the countries, not only India but all the other countries. I'm not talking about the developed ones. I'm talking about the developing countries. It will help us all overcome that barrier, overcome that threshold where we feel that can we approach, or is it right, or is it wrong? Because my own association with AAKP has made me feel that you people have taken a very uh, firm step forward, and I'm so encouraged to do likewise for India. But I'm also seeing that I have to first create that confidence in the government, that we are all there to help the government to resolve this problem, because this is going to be a problem for the government of India in coming years when the disease grows at a faster pace, and there are more people with disease and less resources to manage that. So we, as Kidney Warriors Foundation, are clearly on the path to make this change, and we will definitely love the, any consortium that comes up through our associations. But maybe after a year, so that we have made enough groundwork and we have made the government understand, we have made the nephrologists understand, everyone understand that yes, Kidney Warriors Foundation has got the interest for the country, and it's not only driving its own agenda, because that's a very important thing for the long term relationship of our organization with our government also. Actually, we have done a lot of work in this decade, in the sense from 2019 till 2022, the current year. We have addressed we've gone into many areas. It's not that we have cleared or overcome any of those challenges, but we have gone into many areas. We have started addressing education for kidney patients. So people are now more informed, or better informed. People are now better informed about what choices they should make. Apart from that, we have also done preventive workshops. We have gone into certain areas and arranged for preventive workshops, like the blood test, doing getting those things done, and talks to people who are not yet in kidney disease, people who have got hypertension and diabetes, talking to them about what it means to control and keep your health in a very safe place. So we've taken that step. We've also brought out books on nutrition, because for us, nutrition seems to be the big thing, big challenge for kidney patients. So we brought out a book on nutrition. We brought out a book on recipes, 130 recipes across the country. So people can choose what they want to eat, so they can be satisfied, because it's a very well, completely evaluated book. So it has been done by the dietitian. So it's a very authentic that way. Then we have also gone into a advocacy for salt. We have signed up a petition with with other activists, organizations leading it, saying that yes, we need to have front of pack labels with high alert for sodium, sugar, and fats. So we have moved into that direction. As far as organ donation is concerned, a team is working. They go to schools and they are talking to children, telling them the story of how a person who's normal and suddenly gets into a kidney disease and he needs a kidney. So what does he do? He needs a donor. And where does that come? So, that story is built up that way. And it's a very interesting concept that this lady has developed, and she's going to schools and talking to them about it. And we are also talking to schools for having science projects on salt, and how they can have a very balanced diet. How they can, the change in diet is going to be a huge problem, because people are used to a lot of packaged foods, ready-to-eat snacks. So bringing them back away from that habit and giving them the right choices is going to be a big problem. So we are trying to address that.
I'd like to thank my fellow patients from around the globe, giving their perspectives and their insights and talking about their shared experiences. One of the universal themes that you'll hear is diseases are tough to manage, but the insights that you gain and how you can apply those in the policy process to make an impact and to encourage other people to make a difference and to increase choice and options for patients is a universal theme. And that's something that the American Association of Kidney Patients, we incorporate that with our allies and we push it forward. And I really want to appreciate the folks that spoke today because it takes courage to stand up and have your voice counted. Thank you.